Now that Dustborn is fully funded, thanks for that, by the way, I figured we'd have a quick look into the creators of the game and see if they'd, mentioned anything interesting recently, and I came across this on the Kotaku in Action subreddit, and man, this is just too peak old-school progressivism to let pass by. So, this is a post from Ragnar Turnquist of Red Thread Games. Now, to point out here, this is old, very old in fact, from 2015. Bear that in mind, take it with a grain of salt, etc. Although I will say, considering what happened in 2016, do you think this guy has gotten less radical or more? I mean, the former is always a possibility, but somehow I lean towards the latter, particularly considering, well, Dustborn and what I've seen of that game already. So, let's have a look at it, shall we? Then there's a guy who made the following post. I'm sure this is all just a tremendous coincidence. After all, where in the course of 3 games with Ragnar have the time or opportunity to introduce a positive white male character or a negative non-white character? So he's making the allegation here that the developers aren't really making a lot of good white characters, and are making seemingly all of the non-whites good, almost as if they fetishize them to a certain extent. What a strange and wild accusation. To which he responds, seriously, this is the most fucked up, useless and offensive observation I've read this week. And then includes the Steam forums. I stay away from most discussions these days because the internet is an increasingly depressing and upsetting place. But I'd hope shit like this wouldn't poison our official forums. And since you called me out personally, I feel like I'm entitled to respond. And again, if this is the kind of stuff that's breaking this man's mind in 2015, I invite you to think about where he could be today. Yes, if anything, I do believe that he has radicalized significantly more rather than less. Our team is predominantly white and male. That's unfortunate. God, I kind of miss the blatant progressivism of 2014, 15, etc., where this wasn't considered weird at all. This was just normal. This was a virtue signal to be like, yeah, now there's so many white people here, ew. That was just a thing that happened. And the rest of us were just looking at it like, what, dude? Are you, what? You can't say that. No, of course we can. But that's no. And hopefully something we can change in the long term, he continues on, just to double down on that. And again, I love the idea of this. This guy's running a company, right? A game-making company. So he's got employees who are presumably doing a good job for him, as they've made loads of games at this point, like 3 games previously. So he's sitting there in his studio and looking out at the people working for him and going, oh, Trond, I love the way you code, man, but God, you're just the wrong skin color. Oh, it's terrible. Unfortunate, in fact. As he gazes around the office, man, this is a great team, but wow, they're all the wrong color. This is just a thing he's thinking, and has no problems with writing it on the internet. But hey, we live in Norway, and we work in the game industry, them's the shakes, as they say. As white males, we have absolutely nothing against our own gender or ethnicity. That's unfortunate. I hope we can change it. I adore these old 2014-15 posts. Before all of the doublethink was really pointed out to them, this was the level we were dealing with. You had people going, damn, it's unfortunate there's so many white people here, and then immediately thereafter going like, well, we're white, we have incredible privilege, and we have nothing to be ashamed of. Like, nobody dislikes white people. We have enough white maleness in our daily lives. Diversity's fun, colourful, inspiring. It makes creating worlds and writing stories more interesting. Well, we saw this in the future. I am from the future, sir. In 2024, you will make a game called Dustborn that will disprove this point with thunderous consequences. I actually believe we failed miserably at diversity in the past. April was white and straight. Oh, God, disgusting. Zoe, despite her mixed heritage, she's part Chinese, is by all appearances white and straight. Kian has darkish skin, but he also has predominantly Caucasian features. Oh, vey. How could you do this? We've failed miserably. These characters are all white. God, I miss the 2000s. Oh, this was a different era, I tell you. Whew, and he's played by a white actor. Of course. Crow, well, he's a bird. Oh, God help me. But he is also played by a white guy. Westhouse, Emma, Mickey, Fiona, Bones, Flipper, Benrim, Salim, Freddie, Mellon, Captain Neverway, Gordon, TLJ was populated with mostly white characters along with some magical peoples, and most of these were played by white actors. Looking back, I am actually embarrassed by the lack of diversity, but the world was a different place and I didn't know any better. God, I love this. Yes, yes, white man, flagellate yourself. Flagellate yourself now. It will do you a world of good, I guarantee you. If you simply continue to whip your own back and lament your lack of diversity and all those damned white, straight people around you, you will go to the future, and in the future you will be lauded as the hero. Or peed upon. We were conscious of this and tried to introduce more diversity in Dreamfall, but a lot of the new cast, Bryn, Blind, Bob, Reza, Gabrielle, Crazy Clara, Garman, Kumas, Minister Magda, was still white. Or at least, non-coloured. Oof. Non-coloured. Oh, that was another thing we used to have back in the day. The idea that, oh, non-coloured. All right. See, now we've got POC, which is a great gendered term, by the way. I do like POC. It's got all of the snap to it that is required of a good racial epithet. But back then, we had non-white. Because they were more open about it. The problem was whiteness. That was the issue. Before they managed to build a shield around it and try to make it a little bit more obtuse, realizing that, oh shit, this does make us racist. God damn it. And everybody can see it. Gosh. Okay, we gotta change our tune a little bit here. They were far more open about it. It's kind of delicious to go back and see this. You'll notice that I've also listed characters who are not the antagonist or the big bads of the story. Yep, there are a lot of positive white characters in this saga. I'd say there's definitely imbalance in favor of European American whiteness. That's just too goddamn many of them. We've once again tried to be more diverse with Dreamfall chapters, simply to keep it more interesting and real, to challenge ourselves and reflect our changing world. That goes for everyone. The bad girls, the good guys, the people in between. Mira's a jerk and she's Indian. Liko's a bit of a dick and he's played by a black guy. Oof. Magnus is a great guy, and he's white as they come. And please don't give me any shit about how he's a bad father. He's a single dad, struggling to be a positive role model for his daughter while mourning the loss of his wife. As a father myself, that role was written from the heart, and if Magnus is a bad dad, then so am I. No comment. I know you're trolling. I'm sure I'm giving you exactly what you want right now. More than you know. You probably don't understand, but this is probably going to be going the rounds on YouTube. This is a hot story right now, sir. You will make it big in the future with your game Dustborn, as diverse as it comes, although your success will not be quite of the nature that you might be dreaming of. Annoys and upset me greatly. We don't have a political agenda. You know what? Considering the fact that Dustborn looks like it's probably a right-wing psyops, I'm going to accept that statement. I'm going to take that at face value. If anything, this might actually be the proof that I've been wrong this whole time. That he didn't radicalize, he de-radicalized drastically. In fact, he de-radicalized so hard, he hit the far right, and elected to create Dustborn as an absolute destructive own of everything progressive and leftist. Holy shit, it kinda makes sense now. My god. Others try and represent a world where there aren't just white guys, but a mix of good people and bad people of all colours, ethnicity and sexual orientation, like the real world. Because if our fictional world stayed as white as they were in Dreamfall and TLJ, they would appear ridiculously outdated, which ruins the fiction. I think we're still not there, but at least we're on par with other media now. I'm not ashamed of a lack of diversity in chapters. Again, God, I wish I could reach through the screen, grab this man by the collar, and drag him to 2024 and go, so, the biggest selling game is a game with virtually no women in it, very few, they're almost all your enemies. The main character's a monkey, it's from China, and is sold deliberately on an anti-diversity campaign. Can you imagine what he would say? Oh, it would be rich. It would be so very rich. But hey, perhaps this is not the world you live in, or any of us live in, as history has now proven. Maybe you live in a world where your whiteness and maleness is under constant threat from increasing diversity and acceptance of others who may not look, speak, or act like us. And if that's the case, maybe it's time you reflect a bit on your values and position, or you'll be left far, far behind. Beautiful. Just so absolutely beautiful. It brings a tear to my eye, it really does. Oh, after all these years of trying to fight against this sort of culture, of attempting to stop what I've seen as a destructive march of progressivism into my hobbies and my spaces, ruining everything it touches, from Star Wars to Star Trek to Warhammer to gaming to music to movies to anything and everything, to now sit here in 2024, looking back at a post made 10 years ago, when this shit was just kicking off, when the cultural momentum of the far left was rolling over everything like an unstoppable juggernaut, and see them going, we're winning. And to sit here today and think, all of your dreams turned to shit. It makes me quite happy. And maybe that's mean. And you know what? 10 years ago would be mildly horrified at the sheer quantity of schadenfreude I am experiencing at this. But I no longer care. This is as clear a sign of the victory we have achieved, of the fact that the 10 years of work were not wasted as any I could possibly conceivably have asked for, and I'm just gonna enjoy it. I hope you enjoy it too, frankly, because this couldn't have happened without all of you as well. The watchers, the people who allowed, who push back against this, the people who review the Acolyte accurately, the people who bring up games like Dustborn, who make Concord fail. If it weren't for all of us, now this guy would have been proven right. The left was an absolute cultural force in 2015. It was in ascendancy to the point where it seemed as if rolling it back was nothing but a distant dream. I remember people mocking us at the time, like, you're never gonna change anything, they've already won, you sillies, you should just give up, nothing matters. Well, turns out things do matter. And as I've always said, the best way to get your way is to be really, really loud about it. Congratulations, everyone. And have a very, very good day.